Marcus had worked at Harrington Financial for 12 years, always the first one in and the last one leave. A man who believed that loyalty and hard work were the only currencies that truly mattered. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please stay with us and watch this story till the end. If there is any mistake or shortcoming in our story, please kindly forgive us and support us with your love, patience, and encouragement. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, and tell us in the comments where in the world you are watching from. Your support means everything to us. He had started as a junior analyst fresh out of college, worked his way up to senior manager, and had given the company everything he had: his weekends, his holidays, his energy, and in many ways his youth. But life has a way of reshuffling your priorities without warning, and for Marcus, that reshuffling came in the form of a phone call on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. His 7-year-old daughter Lily had been diagnosed with a rare autoimmune condition that required consistent care, frequent hospital visits, and most importantly, a parent who was present, truly present, not one, who was stuck in meetings until 9 at night. His ex-wife had moved abroad 2 years prior, leaving Marcus as Lily's sole caregiver, and now the weight of that responsibility pressed down on him like never before. He walked into his boss's office the very next morning, resignation letter in hand, heart pounding but mind completely certain. His supervisor, a sharp-edged man named Director Calloway, barely looked up from his screen. "You're making a mistake, Marcus," he said flatly. "People like you don't just walk away from careers like this." Marcus placed the letter on the desk and said quietly, "People like me don't walk away from their kids either." He cleared out his desk by noon, drove to Lily's school, picked her up early, and took her for ice cream, chocolate chip for her, plain vanilla for him, and for the first time in years, he didn't check his phone once. The weeks that followed were not easy. Marcus dipped into his savings to cover medical bills and groceries, took on freelance accounting work during the hours Lily slept, and learned how to braid hair badly, how to make macaroni 3 different ways, and how to read the same bedtime story with enough enthusiasm that it never felt like the 47th time. He didn't complain. He didn't look back. But the money was running out faster than he had planned, and the freelance work was inconsistent, and some nights he would sit at the kitchen table after Lily was asleep and stare at the bills and feel the cold edge of fear creep in. It was on one such evening, a grey Saturday with rain tapping at the windows, that his doorbell rang. He opened the door to find a man in a simple grey coat standing on his porch, and it took Marcus a full 3 seconds to recognize him, because people like Richard Harrington, the CEO and founder of Harrington Financial, did not show up at small suburban homes unannounced. "Marcus," the man said almost gently. "May I come in?" Stunned, Marcus stepped aside. Richard Harrington sat down at the same kitchen table where Marcus had been staring at his bills just minutes ago, wrapped both hands around the mug of coffee Marcus offered, and told him a story that Marcus had never heard before. 12 years ago, when Marcus had just joined the company as a nervous 23-year-old, Richard had been going through a crisis of his own. His mother was gravely ill. The company was bleeding money, and he was close to shutting everything down. It was a detailed, meticulous report submitted by a brand-new junior analyst named Marcus Webb that had identified a critical error in their investment strategy and saved the firm nearly $4 million. Richard had never forgotten it. He had watched Marcus grow, had seen the resignation letter, and had quietly asked around to find out why. "I built this company because I believed that good people deserved to be supported," Richard said, setting down his mug. "I'm not here as your former CEO. I'm here as someone who owes you more than a paycheck." He slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a letter offering Marcus a fully remote senior consulting position with flexible hours, full health coverage that included Lily's specialist treatments, and a salary that was 20% higher than what he had been earning before. "You chose your daughter," Richard said, standing to leave. "I'm just making sure that choice doesn't cost you everything." Marcus stood at the door long after the car had disappeared down the wet street. The envelope in his hand, his eyes burning. He went back inside, sat beside Lily, who was curled up on the couch watching cartoons, and pulled her close. She looked up at him with her big brown eyes and said, "Daddy, why are you crying?" He kissed the top of her head and said, "Because sometimes the world surprises you, baby. And sometimes it really does." If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories, where every story reminds us that humanity is still beautiful.